Hey Reddit.
Teachers of Reddit, what's the weirdest thing a student answered to tell me a fun fact about yourself?
Kids say the weirdest things. For more videos, like and subscribe. A guy in my class introduced himself by telling us how he decided he wanted to study philosophy because one day he was really high peeing in the street and he saw a couple of people working and he wondered what they were doing. So he realized his passion was wondering. He dropped out like 2 months later.
It's hard to wonder when people tell you what to think.
Not all who wonder are lost.
We did one of those 2 truths 1 lie bits. Girl stands up and says, I've never been out of the country. I'm a twin. I love playing sports. I knew this girl beforehand and knew she didn't have a twin. So picked that one. Nope. She had a conjoined twin that died in utero and had to be surgically removed, and she's now missing the last vertebrae on her spine. Showed us the scar and everything. Apparently the lie was the first one, as she'd been to Mexico.
I'd have guessed the playing sports one. I'd expect most people who play a sport to say which one.
I had a student say a similar thing. 1. I really like reading books. 2. I had a stroke 3 years ago. 3. I'm a triplet. This was the first few days at a new school for me, and his twin sister was in my class. So, he's a twin, right? Nope. They are triplets, but his brother is in a different school, BC. He's incredibly smart. This kid was in a special program 1 day a week, BC. He was smart too. So his brother must have been a genius. His sister just sat there like, yay, one brother is a genius and this does brilliant. I'm just me. She was a fantastic kid but had a lot of self-esteem issues for obvious reasons.
Had students aged 11 sharing strategies for dealing with difficult emotions. 1 at a time in a big circle. 1 girl talked about digging her nails into her face whenever she was feeling stressed or anxious. And I had to explain to the class why self-harm was not a good coping strategy.
How did you explain it?
A student once told my wife that her daddy had a special device that he had to blow into to start his truck.
He's definitely not an alcoholic.
My dad clogged the toilet this morning and that's why I'm feeling frustrated. -5-year-old child. I will say the question was, how are you doing this morning? But I could barely keep from laughing out loud.
I have IBS. My toddler once told visiting friends that daddy takes long poops. I mean, I was having a flare-up and had some extended bathroom sessions. But, dang little dude, not cool. I'm terrified, amused about what he might share at school in the near future.
That's pretty good, identifying a feeling and the source of that feeling.
In my psychology class, we were talking about the early signs of serial killers, and the quietest girl who never spoke told the story of when she lived in Chicago. She had a friend around 5th grade who would always stomp on baby birds and once put his hamster in the microwave. Well, his parents were having difficulty keeping up with his antics, so they sent him to his grandmother's, who he promptly stabbed to death when she woke him up for school. So that was interesting.
I'm shifting in my chair just thinking of this exchange.
Well, shiz, did his grandmother live in Michigan by any chance? Because I have a student that did this. Actually, probably not the same, because his grandma did not end up dying from it. His sentence was scarily short, and we are all terrified of the possibility of him returning to school this year. Have spoken up and was basically told there's nothing we can do about it.
I am not a teacher, but this guy in my class named Shane has this medical condition that causes him to grow tons of hair at an early age. Full beard in middle school. He would say, I'm Shane and I'm very hairy.
He could say, my name is Shane. But friends call me Harry.
Bruh, I was so confused for a min reading tones of hair, and then it hit me that you meant tons of hair. Lol.
During French class, a guy in my class said that he liked stabbing children. He meant that he fences but didn't know the exact translation for that.
I love the French class fun facts. In a beginner French class, I had to accidentally come out to the class when I was asked whether I had a spouse. Je suis une lesbienne. It was awkward.
In my German class, I said, "Ik esse sehr gern kinda," and the teacher just looked at me blankly.
That he has been to UV multiple times and is currently on probation. Then he pulled up his pants enough that everyone could see his ankle monitor. That was something.
Not actually the worst direction he could have pulled his pants, though.
I've had my hand up a sheep's bum, shocked me slightly. Child of a farming family. Helping with lambing season.
Up the butt? Haha.
My friend is really quiet. He doesn't really talk unless talked to. He's really cool though and has some things he enjoys doing. Literally second year I knew him, the teacher asked this and he said he's a professional bowler with a 300 best. And I was like, YHAVENT, you told me this, that's amazing? I guess it just never came up. Haha. Knew him for a whole year and never knew that.
Guess he had a spare fact.
Same.
When I was in my first year at university, my law and society professor made each student get up, say her name and tell why they picked law school. Well, a guy got up, said his name, and the professor interrupted him by asking, "Anon, are you related to X?" The guy, "Yes, professor. He is my grandfather." Then the professor got excited and started talking about what great of a guy the 10th is and that he haven't heard of him in years. Then the professor asked how he was. Anon replied, "He is dead, sir." The whole class was trying to hold the laughter. It pretty much broke the class that first day.
At least he said good things about the grandpa instead of calling him an asshat and finding out after he was deceased.
I feel bad for laughing right now, but I can only imagine the embarrassed face on that teacher's.